Hello everyone, this is part 2 of my Star Wars review. Watch part 1 if you haven't. Wait, no, this can't count. Is this real? Was this actually released in theaters? Wait, what? Hello? Is this real? So basically this is just the pilot episode for the Clone Wars show. The show is great, but the movie is dated, stupid, and bad. Before you ask, yes, this is a real movie. This was released in theaters. This was made for a film audience. It had a budget of $8.5 million, and it was made because... profit? I don't know why this was released in theaters. It has pretty bad animation, the characters are obnoxious. Just everything is bad. If you want positives, I guess the voice cast is okay, the score isn't the worst. I mean, it was made to sell toys, it's just a generic direct-to-DVD movie that somehow got a theatrical release. Finally, something actually entertaining to talk about. I had to sit through how many mediocre ones? Like 4? So I saw this movie in theaters when I was 10, and it was amazing. I thought that this was the best movie I'd ever seen. And now that I'm old enough, it's not. I mean, it's not bad. It's not the best or worst, despite what a lot of people say. It's just a really good movie. You can tell that Disney actually cared with this one, so they hired a passionate director for it. And for the most part, he did great. The cast and crew all seem to love Star Wars. The actors are all great, the score is amazing, the ending is good. It's a really good movie. There are problems, though. My main problem is that it's mostly just a copy of A New Hope. Here is a list of similarities. Number 1. A droid escapes from a stormtrooper attack to a young person in a desert. Number 2. A rebel leader gives a droid information about something that the First Order or Empire needs. Number 3. They escape the desert planet. Number 4. They find an old man who gives them guidance. Number 5, there's an enormous space station / death planet that has blown up a planet and will blow up more if they don't destroy it. Number 6, the old man is killed by a masked villain who was once close to them. Number 7, there's a lightsaber fight on the planet destroyer weapon thing for the 3rd time in this series. Number 8, the Sith kill or horribly injure the person they've been fighting. Then later, the one who found the droid in the desert fights them. Number 9. The planet weapon is destroyed. Also, another problem that I have with it, which is more of a nitpick, is that when Rey, Finn, and Chewie get back after Han dies and Leia senses it, Leia hugs Rey, a girl who she has never seen or met before, instead of Chewie, who has been Han's partner for about 40 years? Oh wait, that reminds me. Number 10. Chewie is skipped over for something at the end of the movie and doesn't get a reward. I've always hated J.J. Abrams' strategy of mystery boxes with movies, where he keeps a secret in a movie forever, like Snoke or Rey's parents. It's well known at this point that Abrams hadn't even decided who Snoke or Rey's parents were until after The Last Jedi was made, and Snoke was dead, and Rey's parents were written as nothing, and that is awful. It shows a complete level of ineptitude behind Abrams' professionalism and everything else. There's a way that you're supposed to do reveals. You can save some toward the end of the movie or trilogy or whatever you're doing. But you, A, have to have a plan, and B, keep a steady flow of reveals throughout the movie series. Like, he kind of does this with who Kylo Ren is in this movie, but not a single thing was revealed in The Last Jedi that was brought up in The Force Awakens. Overall, this is a pretty good movie, I guess. I don't know. This is a movie that no one asked for, but everyone loves, and it deserves it. It's funny that Disney decided to make this, because while it sounds like a lazy cash grab, it's actually the best Star Wars movie made by Disney so far. Unlike all of the other Disney movies, this one doesn't really have problems. I'm really happy that they managed to work in references without making it seem forced, unlike another movie on this list. The best thing about this movie, though, is that it is definitely not a kid's movie. Almost every single main character dies at the end, cities are blown up, the Empire kills presumably about 100 of its own soldiers. I like how in this and the next two movies, Disney experimented by making movies with different directors. So they all are different in a lot of ways. Rogue One is, for all intents and purposes, a war movie. And say whatever you will about The Last Jedi, it is easily the most unique movie in the main series. And Solo is a Western? Well, according to Wikipedia, I guess. Yeah, it has Western elements to it, sure. I can imagine a similar story happening on Earth. This movie is great. It's a war movie, and a really good war movie at that. It definitely feels more militaristic than the other movies. People get pinned down in quarters for long periods of time, fighters dive down to shoot troops on the ground, and main characters die, but unlike other Star Wars movies, it doesn't make a big deal of the deaths. It just cuts away and keeps on rolling. K2SO is hilarious. Yeah, this is the best Star Wars movie since Return of the Jedi. Critics loved this movie, but a lot of fans absolutely despised this one. Honestly, I kind of like The Last Jedi. It's not just a copy of The Empire Strikes Back. That being said, it has enormous problems. The director, Rian Johnson, a very skilled director who made Looper, Knives Out, and 3 episodes of Breaking Bad, had a big vision. But J.J. Abrams, the director of Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker, and an executive producer on this movie, also had a big vision. So Rian Johnson made this movie, changing almost all of Abrams' vision. Then Disney edited the movie. And almost every mistake made by this movie came from Abrams or Disney. The mystery box philosophy of Abrams is present in this movie, but Abrams didn't want to reveal anything in this one, so that he could save the reveals for Rise of Skywalker. Then Rian Johnson directed this movie, and he tried to end those mysteries by killing Snoke, and saying that Rey's parents were nothing. That meant that he wrote Abrams into a corner, because he had no mysteries for Rise of Skywalker anymore, so he just threw in whatever he could, so boom! This happened. Just this. I don't even have to say anything. Holdo is an awful character, and the tension between her and Poe is just dumb. Leia's scene where she got back to the ship feels and looks pretty awful, and it felt like it was added just to remind us that Leia has force powers. The casino part is pretty unnecessary, but it's not really bad. Like, the puppets and the music in that scene was great. I liked Rose until she saved Finn. I would suggest watching the deleted scenes. They would have been some of the best scenes in the movie if Disney hadn't trimmed down the movie. I'm saying movie way too much. The best part about this, though, is the acting. Adam Driver, Mark Hamill, Daisy Ridley, ugh, that's hard to say, John Boyega, Carrie Fisher, Oscar Isaac, and of course Frank Oz gave probably their best performances in these Star Wars movies. I also like the Porgs. Fun fact, the Porgs weren't originally in the movie, but the Puffins on the islands they were filming on kept crowding the set, and because there was no way to get them out, they just CG'd over them. Boom. You got Porgs. So overall, I thought it was pretty good. Does it have its problems? Yes. Is it bad? Not at all. I'm happy to know that Rian Johnson may be coming back to make more Star Wars movies, because they'll be very good. Apparently this is a Western? Why, Wikipedia? Why does nothing you say ever make any sense? Yeah, so Solo is fine, I guess. I laughed a lot. I liked 1 or 2 of the references. I liked the scene where Han meets Chewie for the first time. The acting is great. I liked Donald Glover as Lando. That being said, this movie is really stupid. It's like one original idea and a billion references and callbacks. I didn't hate it though. There was a point after Dryden Voss gets killed that I thought it was an 8 out of 10 movie. But then Darth Maul appeared. It is good to know, for certain, that the Clone Wars is official canon, which Darth Maul came back to life in, but it just felt completely unnecessary. It was just a reference to the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels, which didn't have anything to do with the real movie, really. Speaking of references, this movie has so many references. References to A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, The Last Jedi, and even the Clone Wars show are constantly being thrown up on the screen. Another problem that I have with this movie is that its story is kind of generic. The good thing about the other Star Wars movies is that they were written to be specifically in space. You would have to tweak each story pretty drastically to make it work on Earth. But this one feels like it was written to be a cowboy western story, and then they just plugged Star Wars in. Tell me that this sounds like a space story. A man from the slums who wants to be a pilot has his girlfriend kidnapped as he tries to leave the city. He joins a band of thieves disguised as soldiers and takes place in a fuel heist. The heist fails, and it is revealed that they were attempting to steal the fuel for a crime syndicate. Then the man finds his kidnapped girlfriend as a slave for the crime syndicate she was kidnapped by, and they're forced to steal more fuel together from some fuel mines. So yeah, it's fine. I don't really have anything else to say about it. It's fine. So I'm finally done for now. Here is my ranking of Star Wars movies. Wow, did this take a long time to make. You may notice that I didn't review Rise of Skywalker. That is because it deserves its own review. It was so bad, and it ruins a movie series for me. So I'm giving it its own review, which should be coming out eventually. So anyway, tell your friends, tell someone, tell anyone, tell everyone, and okay, bye.